Welcome back, and in this video we are going to work on pagination. So what pagination does, in a blog, say with 100 blog articles, we may not we may prefer, instead of having all the 100 blog articles in this page, we may want to display, say, about 10 blogs in the first page, 10 blogs in the second page, and all that. If you think of how to achieve that, the process may be hectic if you probably want to define your own code to achieve the first 10 blog articles in the first page, another 10 in the second page, and all that. Django has already defined some codes that we are just going to consume and achieve that. So in our case, let's see how to achieve it. So let's go back to our views.py, and we need to import the necessary importation that will help us achieve the pagination. So let's do this from django.co.paginator import paginator. Once we do that, we have a number of things that we need to do. So let's start by, let's add a space there. So the first thing is to declare the number of blog posts that we would want to be displaying on each page. So let's call it blog, or rather blogs per page. So in our case, let's just have 2, since we haven't uploaded as much blogs. But in a scenario whereby you have quite a good number of blog articles, you can limit the number of blog posts to, say, 10. So in our case, let's use 2. Then let's have another variable here, name it paginator. Paginator, but should start with a small letter. Then let's equate it to paginator, this function here. Then what we need to add there, we need to consume the approved blogs. Remember, we need to consume this. So let's have approved blogs, then the number of blogs per page. Once we do that, we also need to fetch the number of pages, or rather the page number, the specific page number. So the way to do that, let's have page number is equals to request dot get. Then let's have a get. Then we have page. Once we get the page number, we now need to incorporate the page number with the this variable that we defined here, paginator, so that we are able now to render our blog articles alongside page. So let's do this. So blog paginator is equals to paginator. That is the one with a small letter, this one, the one that we defined here. So you have paginator dot get page. Then what we need to do, we need to consume page number, the one that we just defined here. So by doing that, we are now able to render our blog articles with the paginated format. So remember, we assigned blogs to our approved blogs here. So in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to remove the approved blogs. Now that they are being rendered in a paginated format, we remove that and add blog paginator. Let's save that. Then what we need to do, we need to go back to our blog HTML. here we need to remember the template that we are currently using had already defined the front end of our paginator. So we have this in place. So it's now for us to work on achieving the logic of these buttons. So in our blog.html, we need to identify the block that renders the paginator features, and this is it. So this the code defined here is what we can see here. So in this section, I just want to paste some code, then explain on what it means. The block that displays our pagination features. So let's remove that and add that. We have these blocks that we want to pass to our blog.html. So once we have the blocks variable here, so in the views, we define that we want to display two articles per page. All right. So what that means, in this first block here, it checks if we are in the second page or in our blog article, then we will be able to navigate to the first page. So that's where this is coming in. We have a question mark and page equals 1. So say we are in the 10th page. So we will have the current page is 10, but then we can be able to go back to page 1. All right. So then here goes another tag, another a tag. So we have blogs.previous page, or rather previous page number. So assuming we are in the 10th page. Now that we have the first page, second, all the way to page 9. So what that means is that when we are in the 10th page, we can be able to go back to the previous page number, which is page 9, or go to the first. So that is what this code, these two lines of code means. So now in between, we need to display, or rather, we need to show the number of pages. For instance, we are in page 10 out of 20 pages. We are in page 1 out of 2. So that's what this code snippet means. Then going back to, say, we are in page 10 and we have 12 pages or any other higher number of pages. So we will be able to navigate to the 11th page or the 12th page by using these lines of code. So let's save these and see if you are able to achieve that. We got an error. Let's see. Cannot access variable paginator where it is not associated with a value. All right, let's check under views.py. So what we need to do here, remember we imported this paginator here, but we made a mistake here, so we need to have it an uppercase like that. Save that. Once you do that, let's reload this page. We still not get it. Right. Blog line 16. Let's check on that. All right, we also made a mistake here. Let's correct that. Let's get in uppercase. Let's save, then let's reload. All right, let's check. All right, the spelling or rather the styling is not that good, but it will help us achieve the goal of this video. So for instance, we have four blog articles in our admin dashboard. Then we define that we need to have 2 blogs per page. So dividing 4 by 2, that gives us 2 pages. So that's why we have page 1 of 2. So we have the next button here. That's why we said that the styling is not in the best shape. But for us, we have to work on the back end. So let's click on next and see where we go. So we are now able to see the next, or rather the content of our second page. So we have been able to navigate to page 2, and this happens to be our last page. But if we check closely, we have page 1 of 2. So we are not able to fetch the current page. So let's check if we probably made some mistakes. All right, I think if we check under this section, page number, we have request.get. So what we need to get here is the page. We need to get page. Let's save that and let's reload. And there we go. We have been able to fetch the current page that we are in, and in that case we are able to go to the first. So remember, just to have a recap of how Pagination works, we have this first section here. We are trying to check if in the current page that we are in, if there is a previous, give us an A tag whereby we can be able to navigate to the first page. Also, if we have a previous page, you can give us the number to the previous to the first previous page, so that say we are in page 4, we can be able to navigate back to page 3 by clicking on the on this A tag. And this A tag is it's denoted by this back button, this one. So for instance, if we don't have this, then rather if we don't have a previous page, then we don't or rather these lines of code are not rendered. So let's try to play around with it. So we can go back to the first page, takes us to page 1. Then we can go to the last page. So let us reduce the number of blogs per page that we render. Let's have 1. Once we do that, let's save this. If we check, we have up to 4 pages. We are in the first page, we are in page 1. So here we can go to the next, which is page 2. That is page 2 of 4. We can also go to the next, which is page 3 of 4. And we can go to the last, which is page 4 of 4. When we are in the last page, now that we have the previous, we can decide if we want to go to the previous, which is page 3, as you can see it down here. Can go to page 3 or decide to jump to page 1. So that's how Pagination works. So you can opt to go through the Django documentation to get more of Pagination concepts. Just check it through so that these concepts sync, because they could be a little bit confusing, but with a little practice here and there, you can be able to achieve, or rather get the Pagination concept right. So this marks the end of this video. See you in the next video.